Senators in morning business. Senator from Virginia.
Mr. President, I thank the presiding order.
Not to exceed 10 minutes.
Mr. President, I thank the presiding officer. I do ask the unanimous consent that my brief remarks could follow the colloquy, because I wish to say a word with respect to this
there being no objection,
problem of the Brady Bill.
Request is granted.
Mr. President, I am among the, I think, 6 or 7 Republicans who have stood steadfast in support of the Brady Bill. I've done so for many years, and therefore I have not been a part of that group negotiating. Like my distinguished colleague from Oregon, Senator Hatfield, I think we have sort of been on the sidelines. But I commend my colleague from Oregon for his comments on behalf of the leadership, and I wish to join him. I've now had the privilege of serving 15 years with the distinguished senator from Maine and our distinguished Republican leader, Senator Dole. And this body has tremendous confidence and respect for both of these leaders. And while I do not know the details respecting this controversy, I somehow intuitively feel both are proceeding in good faith to represent the respective interests in their two parties to try and reach a reconciliation of this, and I commend both. It's been particularly difficult for Senator Dole. Believe me, there's few in the Senate that know more about guns and the effects of guns than our distinguished Republican leader. And having voted for the Brady Bill some 2 years ago, it's difficult for him, very difficult. And I hope, as his name is bandied across this nation one way or another associated with this problem, there's an understanding of the unique problems that face any leader as they try and reconcile strong differences on the two sides of the aisle. Oftentimes, they have to take positions that are totally not consistent with their own long-range goals. Now, I can't say that that is the particular case with Senator Dole, but I do know, having voted for the Brady Bill before, and having known both Jim and Sarah Brady, as all of us have for these many, many years. I knew him long before he was White House press secretary, and indeed his lovely wife. And they're both constituents of mine in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So I wish our leadership well, and I know they're taking into consideration the fact that many of our colleagues are traveling afar today on official business. Later today, I think I might just take this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Senator from Rhode Island, Senator Chafee. I spoke with him yesterday. He was anxious to stay here throughout this controversy, but he left yesterday to go to Guadalcanal. Senator Chafee is the only member of this body who went ashore at Guadalcanal and part of that Marine detachment, more than a detachment. It was quite a large group of Marines that fought that historic battle, which was really the beginning of the turning of the tide in the Pacific War. He was then but 17 years old. He was a rifleman. He later came back, went through Officers Candidate School, and then volunteered and returned to the Pacific for a second tour of combat action, this in Okinawa. He's one of our most distinguished and revered colleagues in this body. And that's just an example of the plans that many of our colleagues are working on. I'm going to join Senator Levin and depart for a few days to go to Somalia, and in particular Mogadishu, to perform on behalf of the Armed Services Committee a special investigation of the tragic loss of our American servicemen. So I think there are very good reasons for the absence of many of our members on official business, and therefore it is my fervent hope that the leadership will be able to bridge this gap. I see my distinguished colleague on the floor here. I'll yield it to him, but I would like to continue my remarks as if in morning business on 2 other subjects. Senator Leahy.
President.
The Senator from Vermont.